Okay, we're going to do range of motion measurements for shoulder flexion, so this movement, and shoulder extension, this movement, okay? So for shoulder flexion, your patient can be seated or supine. The problem with your patient being in supine and measuring range of motion is that towards the end of the movement, you get a little gravity assistance. So I like to measure seated for shoulder flexion. So your axis of your goniometer is going to go just below the acromion process. So if you think about the shoulder joint as a circle, you're just going to go right in the middle of it, okay? Because as you can see, when she moves into shoulder flexion, that changes, okay? So you're just trying to go right in the middle of this circle, okay? I should have put a Sharpie. Your stationary arm is going to be parallel with the line of your trunk, your patient's trunk, and then your movable arm is going to stay with the midline of the humerus, okay? So I'm going to get everything set. I'm going to ask the patient, can you raise your arm as high as you can, thumb to ceiling? Good. Okay, and so then my measurement for her, if I'm staying with the midline of the humerus, is 167 degrees. So that's great, okay? So that's for shoulder flexion. For extension, I like to measure it in prone, because that way you're moving against gravity. So if you could come up here. And scoot down just a little bit. I'm worried we're like not getting it. Okay. And come a little bit to the edge. And so you're gonna have the limb hanging off. I'm gonna have her turn her head the opposite direction so she's not cranking on her neck there. Your landmarks are the same, so you're gonna go just below the acromion process and stay in the middle of that shoulder, okay? In the middle of the whole joint. For extension, you're gonna start here, and so this is kind of a hard position to hold, so sometimes I'll support the limb, but you're gonna ask them to move their elbow up, and I like to do this in elbow flexion. It's just easier than holding your entire limb up. That's really a test of the triceps. So the muscles involved with shoulder extension are your teres major, your posterior delt, and your latissimus dorsi, okay? So I let them bend at the elbow. I get my landmarks. So again, stationary arm is staying parallel to the trunk. My movable arm is gonna stay with the midline of the humerus, and you're just gonna ask them to bring their elbow to the ceiling. Sorry, is my head in the way? Good. Stop. Good, you can rest. So 60 degrees is what I got. And the normal value is 0 to 50. So she's really doing excellent. One thing you wanna make sure with shoulder extension is that they're not coming all the way up. So that's a compensatory movement that you'll see where they move the trunk. And so sometimes the head turn really helps with that. The other thing you want to be aware of is that you're not asking them to hold this forever, because it's not a comfortable position, okay? So that is flexion and extension.